Yo, what's up guys? It's Professor Oak. Before we get into anything today, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I got a notification this morning saying that the channel has reached over 100 subscribers. That's like totally mind-blowing to me. Sick. Thank you guys so much. Everyone who's liked, commented, thank you too. If you're watching, be one of those people. Like, subscribe, comment. But yeah. So we've been testing patch 1.06 pretty much since it came out. I've only been playing with stuff that either got buffed or nerfed. I've even, masochistically subjected myself to playing with nerfed rivers. We've tried it all. I'm gonna be posting a couple videos that are similar to this, just kind of going over some of the things I experienced, some of the things that I've tested in more isolated settings. I'm using the pickaxe right now, technically a great hammer, but it performs just like a great axe. I was also using the crescent moon axe some. The speed increase, definitely noticeable. The range of those weapons, still not the best. It's a good bump. Like before this I would have said that the great axes and great hammers were like absolute trash, but now I think they're pretty usable weapons. They're not going to be the best in a meta with pokey weapons with long range. They're just not going to be the best, but definitely usable. Light load, on the other hand, I think that might be in the higher class. I think this is pretty good. I tested it with straight swords. Straight swords are like one of my quote-unquote mains, I guess. It's a pair of weapons that I use quite frequently. And light roll R1 is like just as, well, it's not just as oppressive as like crouch poke, but it is just as easy to hit. It is just as spammable. Like if they don't have high poise, you're gonna be pretty much just like staggering them constantly. It felt a little scummy, like you can see in the video, like I did about 5 in a row, and I did 5 in a row not to, failure. I won. That's a little crazy. Light roll seems very good. In this part of the video, you're gonna see me and a friend of mine. His name is The Great Zephyrically. He's a user over on Reddit. He's got a channel of his own you should go and check out. He and I tested a few more things. The guard counters with great swords being one, you're seeing on screen. We tested great hammers, great axes. We tested a few things. Guard counters are going to pretty much just still be a PvE mechanic. I really wanted them to be a little bit more useful. That was an interesting mechanic to hear about when the game was like being hyped and released. But unfortunately, it might stick to just a PvE thing. Another little interesting thing to point out, you can see on screen here, I am canceling a backdash by blocking. This only works as far as I can tell with the Zweihander for some reason. I'm not sure if this is intended. In fact, I would be sure that it's not, just based off how it looks and how it works. I could see some potential for uses for this, but I just thought this was something interesting that I should point out to the community. You can cancel a backdash if you use a Zweihander and block while backdashing. Pretty interesting. Now, two things that I was like super interested in testing and just thoroughly looking at were Quickstep and Bloodhound Step. Those two things are, on the spectrum for me. Bloodhound Step being on the end of the spectrum of shit that I hate. I hate that. And Quickstep being something on the shit that I love. I love Quickstep. Quickstep is one of my favorite things. It makes me feel like what the Bloodhound Steppers say they feel like. The anime protagonists just skirting around, getting out of everything. Super fun to use. And the patch notes said that it essentially had a cancel interval, and it was going to be easier to circle around people. If you pay close attention, you can see that the character now sort of like 180 pivots, like almost like a basketball player or something would pivot on one foot, and that is going to be very helpful. What I was hoping is this would, if timed right and spaced right, allow you to immediately go into a backstab from the quick step, and as you see, that's totally possible. I was only able to get it like once, twice more than what you see on screen here. We only practiced or tested it for about, 3-4 minutes, but it's very possible. I want to practice enough to get consistent with it. It seems like something that's going to be amazing. The cancel interval is, it's not that much different. It's a little smoother, but that change in itself is amazing. And it has something in common with Bloodhound Step that I am sure is an oversight to the nerf. You're going to see on screen here the degradation factor that they added in, the thing to prevent spamming. So the more you do this, the worse it's going to get, is essentially the point of what I'm trying to say. The more you Bloodhound Step in a row, the more you Quick Step in a row, the worse the Quick Step or Bloodhound Step will get. The way that they're making it quote-unquote worse is you're going to travel less far, think I mentioned this when I was doing the patch notes thing. I wasn't sure of it yet. I have tested and know this is the case now. You're going to travel less far the more you do it in a row, but you're also going to lose iframes. And that's the important part, is losing the iframes. The unfortunate part is Bloodhound Step is still really powerful, as you can see. And not only is it still really powerful, but if you block or perform any quick action after Bloodhound Stepping, and then Bloodhound Step again, the game is not registering you as doing it consecutively. It is counting the other action. So you essentially can totally avoid any degradation or any of the anti-spam decay mechanic that they tried to implement simply by like kind of tapping block as you Bloodhound Step around. And that's what's allowing me in this clip here to just kind of completely evade and use Bloodhound Step the exact same way that I was able to before. There is going to be a little pause in between using the two Bloodhound Steps, so I guess ideally if your opponent isn't very good at the game, they're not going to be roll catching you, or you're going to be able to roll catch them rather. But I think that the argument of, you know, like, well, most people that use it suck anyways is really dumb, because like, just, you know, because something is strong and only shitty people use it, that's no excuse to say that it's not still really strong. I think this is the worst part of the patch. I think that this is a very, like, bad nerf to the point where it's still the same tool, in my opinion. But, you know, people are allowed to have their own opinions. The first part of this video, you were seeing it on a light roll, and this is now a medium roll. They also did make it more effective for a light roll, so that was also part of the reason I was getting away so easily. And it was more difficult with a medium roll, but still, like, I just had too much control to, like, not really have to worry about the timing. I mean, if you guys think that what I'm doing in this video is fair, imagine if I was, like, you know, wielding the Zweihander and R1ing instead of just continuing the Bloodhound Step away. Pretty nuts stuff in my opinion. I think BHS is going to maintain the top spot, best Ash of War. I'm going to test some more things. We're going to make some more videos pretty similar to that, and kind of give you my opinions on everything. But right now, what I went over today, yeah, dude, Bloodhound Step is still zoinked. I don't like it. Quick Step, they buffed when it was already pretty decent, so, like, thank you guys. Thank you, Base Miyazaki. Yeah, Great Axes, they're fun now. That's what I'll call them. They're fun now. I like fun weapons, so I'm not mad about that. And like I said, I like them so much aesthetically that that's a change that I'm just happy about. Little disappointed in the guard counter buff not being quite enough of a buff to be even somewhat usable in PvP. I mean, like, I assume that if you're going against just like a straight up R1 masher, then you'll be able to hit a couple of those guard counters. But aside from that, nah. BHS still bonkers. But the game's a lot more fun. I'm getting way more invasions. As you can see on screen, we're invading way more areas. We've got a couple more weapons we can use. Rivers of Blood is a regular katana now, so that's nice. Really nice. Lots of nice changes. The game's a lot more fun now. Yep, but that's all I have to say. Smell you later. Love you guys.